All right, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, and yet again, here we are, you and me. All right, look, this is my post-market wrap-up for this Wednesday, October 9th, 2019. People, yeah, we have to talk. Let's start off with the basics here, all right? Nice rally on Wall Street today. Stocks higher across the board. Metals finished about flat. Cryptocurrencies caught a nice bid. Dollar about flat. Bond market, sold off to a slight degree. But again, look, I can't stress this to you enough. The bond market has now become an absolute illusion as part of the charade that is going on around us. Now let's talk more about the charade that's going on around us here. I haven't spoken about this as of yet, but a lot of you are writing to me, and it's time for me to follow this up. Okay, so how many of you recall this guy explaining to you that crude oil was in the danger zone, that something was going to happen, something was going to be engineered to put a floor into crude oil and again push it higher? Well, what can you think about which is happening right now in the Middle East that is positive for crude oil, the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex and the military-industrial complex itself? Any guesses? Well, let's put this together here real quick. So, out of the blue, the president decided to pull U.S. troops out of Syria. What happened almost immediately after that, and is now getting much worse? Full-scale bombing by Turkey on Syria. This is another one of those events which are engineered to support the military-industrial complex. Again, how many of you think it's just by accident that the president decides to pull U.S. troops out here right now while crude oil is dropping, destabilizing the Middle East? Turkey starts bombing. And let me ask you one more thing. If you had to pull something out of a hat and just take a guess as to who's the number one supplier of military weapons to Turkey. Any guesses? Wow, you're really smart. So again, this was a play by the president for the military-industrial complex. I can't stress this to you enough. Nothing happens like this by accident. You think President Trump is just a nice guy and wanted to pull troops out of Syria? You really do? Honest? And then just a day or two later, full-scale bombing? While at the same time, we are the number one supplier of weapons to Turkey? You really think this is by coincidence? I know for a fact that you're not that stupid. But again, people have been writing to me, hey Greg, you know what, you were right, look what's going on. Yeah, of course. Look, we know exactly what they're going to do. Crude oil, I can't stress this enough, is the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. The banks have awesome investments in crude oil. The U.S. military is mandated to protect the oil of OPEC nations. You think destabilizing the Middle East right now while crude oil is hovering in the danger zone was really by accident? If you sincerely believe that now, after everything that's going on, backdoor QE, shadow QE, everything they can think about to prop up this absolutely fake environment and to support the military-industrial complex, all this does, this entire thing, this backdoor QE, shadow QE, QE light, QE6, recapitalizing the banks, allowing them to borrow cash for nothing. These institutions as well, the Dow 30, any company can borrow cash from the Fed for nothing. Meanwhile, you have to pay through the nose for everything right now. Student loans, credit cards, auto loans, house loans. Are you kidding me? Really? You think this is all by accident? You don't think this is by design? Every freaking thing you're seeing right now, the middle class being fleeced beyond belief, being forced to subsidize everything, getting sucked dry, and you think it was a coincidence that the President X pulled troops out of Syria right now? When everything else is going on? This is, you see, look, people that can see this for what it is are those that have not been fully affected by the deliberate dumbing down of the American people. The American people, sincerely, are the most dumbed down on the planet. People in other parts of the world, they get it. And they are laughing at the United States. They're laughing at us. And you know what? This blog and you, as a follower of this blog or a participator, if you comment here, we're showing them a thing or two. We are not the butt end of a joke here. Unfortunately, most of this country is. They're kept in the dark. Most people miss QE4. Most people miss QE5. It's not even... Don't call this QE6. Do not call this QE6. You know that. Meanwhile, it's being called QE by the... I don't know how many of you are catching CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg. It's being called QE, upside down, backwards, and sideways. But no. Don't you call it QE. No, no, no. You must be blinded. You must be kept in the dark. No. Absolutely. And you have to be convinced that everything you're seeing is by accident. Absolutely. Oh, it's not to support the military-industrial complex. No, no, no. This is because President Trump is such a nice guy. He wants to give the military some relief and pull them out of Syria to allow Turkey to start full-scale bombing to destabilize the Middle East. Oh, yes, and so he can supply them with more weapons because, yeah, the United States is the #1 supplier of weapons to Turkey. Yeah, swallow that, okay? All right, so anyway, big announcement here. This guy is going to start doing my morning market report pre-market. I can't stress to you enough. Look, I love all of you, and that's the truth. I really do. But if I were to add up the potential cash that I could have made trading this market while I'm doing my market reports, getting stuff set up, it's in the hundreds of thousands. I'm not joking. In the hundreds of thousands potential cash I could have made. But I feel like I'm doing something important. I'm going to keep it going. But instead of doing my morning market report during an open market, I'm going to do it pre-market. Same format. I'm going to do 2 videos per day for now, okay? And my markets are look ahead segment. However, again, my morning market report is going to be out pre-market. I literally can't allow myself to let that kind of money just, go. It's pretty silly for me to do that. Talking about losing money, you want to hear a rookie mistake that I made today? I made such a rookie mistake, and it cost me a bundle. Today, I'm sitting here trying to place a trade, meaning to buy calls. I'm all ready to buy calls. I have it all set up. I click, I look at my trade, I bought puts, and it killed me. It crushed me. Had I been on the right side of that trade, I would have done well. But look, lesson learned for me and for everyone else. Pay attention. I don't do this too often. I'm not saying I have not done that in the past. I have done that in the past, but it's been a long time. And I didn't even know what happened. Like this is how, I wasn't paying attention. So I placed a trade. I'm watching the chart. Boom, 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 going up, up, up. I'm watching the stock market go higher, and I'm watching my trade get killed. I'm like, what's going on? I go back. Greg, you idiot! You bought puts. Anyway, I guess that proves that I'm human, like everybody else. Anyway, so with that said, I hope this video has made sense to you. And again, for those of you that wrote to me, I want to just say this: bravo for having your eyes open and a few functioning brain cells to understand that nothing happens for no reason, and we were looking for some kind of an event to put a floor under crude oil. The play for the military-industrial complex. Our president works clearly for the military-industrial complex while the middle class is being absolutely destroyed. And for those of you who believe that President Trump must be reelected just so he could carry out the rest of his plan, well, let me ask you this. If you're following any of those other channels, shill channels out there, who's gotten it right? Who's gotten pretty much everything right? Well, they've gotten everything wrong. Maybe that should tell you something too. All right, anyway, this guy does love you. Please share this video, get it out there, and I will see you tomorrow. Pre-market, it's probably going to work out better. We can set the stage earlier as to what we can look forward to. I'm actually looking forward to it. I do have to get up earlier now, but I think it's worth it, and I think, or at least I'd like to think that I'm making some kind of difference out here. See you in the morning, pre-market.